and take a ride.
I heard Ben squabbling about the fucking pyramids the other day and what's going on underneath them. First of all, is that shit even real? Because I never dove deep enough, but I know that there's been bullshit put out there on purpose to either discredit or just create confusion. Is this shit real, Ben?
The story's real.
Well, of course the story's real. Do you believe there's a fucking power plant from another dimension or whatever the fuck's going? Is it N-Star from fucking 5,000 years ago underneath the pyramid?
Could be.
And Stargate.
Stargate. Yeah, that was fucking clever, Frank.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, that's funny you say that. I don't want to hog the conversation, but when I was little and I saw Stargate, it really resounded with me for some reason.
Everybody.
Yeah. I thought that movie was dope, and I'm like,
yeah,
could that be the thing?
Because it's believable.
Plausible.
Because it's plausible. Plausible.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, a lot of ideas show up in science fiction. It's got to be science fiction before it's science fact.
What a coincidence.
It's always science fiction until it's science fact.
First science fiction before it has to exist in fiction before it can even be proven.
That new meme that goes around saying they have to tell you before or when they do whatever they do in films or whatever. The Simpsons.
Yeah, Simpsons tell you everything.
That's weird.
How many times does that have to happen before you can go past coincidence and be like, yeah?
Well, first of all, nothing is a coincidence. Yeah, 100. Yeah. My number for a certain coincidence is 100 before I say, maybe something's going on here. But what do I know? Back to the pyramids. Yeah. How accurate is your fucking iPhone 1 digital photo of said power
that's
plant?
The thing. They got everybody all excited over the rendering of the, really, really loose radar imagery, which how the fuck do we know that was even real? But let's say it is. Let's say they finally, even though they've had this type of radar technology for a long time, I didn't realize it could go that deep. I've never heard of it being able to penetrate that deep into the ground. I mean, that what was it, like 1,000 feet?
It was deep. And that's why I'm saying, is it real?
I want it to be real. Doesn't mean it is.
There are other pyramids recently where they did the same shit and found crazy shit underneath.
The crazy thing about the pyramids too is like the geographical location where it's like
always
the exact
33 degrees,
or it's like the exact center of the earth.
Always.
And it's like they're all aligned.
And they're all over the planet too.
Yeah. Antarctica.
It's like the center of the mass of continents or something, right? Because how do you determine what the center is beyond the poles?
Well, when you have a basketball, there's a place where you
is
plug in the little
equator?
Thing to pump it up.
It's right where
it's where the plug is.
It's where the pump.
Supposedly, that's the bottom of the earth and the center, where you can cruise into the underground world where there's lush trees and aliens and fucking advanced civilizations, right?
Yeah.
Do you know?
What about General Byrd flew over?
Fucking definitely Byrd.
Yeah. He saw the entrance.
About General Byrd?
What? No.
No, this is real shit. How long? That was like 100 years ago, though, right?
By now, yeah. Was it the 40s?
It was a long time ago in a land not so far away. Tell him. You know better than me, I guarantee it.
Somebody was flying over Antarctica.
Okay.
Over the poles.
Right.
And he claims to have flown over a massive opening, like a giant cavern that went into what you would, movies would call hollow earth, probably more like cavernous earth.
Okay.
These areas today, Antarctica and the North and the South Poles are off limits, man. You can't go to Antarctica. Even if you wanted to, you have to have special visa permitting. And even if you do, the major countries have their designated claimed areas around the coast of Antarctica, but that whole center area is completely off limits to us regular people anyways.
A friend of mine, he's been in a touring band his whole life. He's like, why can't we just, whoop, and we're there. You cannot, can you? You got to fly around the fucking globe.
Right.
To get, can't do it. I don't know why. I'm not saying anything. I don't know shit. It's just strange to me. Yeah.
I mean, do you want to go to Antarctica or?
I mean, if I had special permitting to be on crew of like archaeologists or of course. I mean,
I'm saying for leisure. You sit in your head and you're like, you know what? I would love to go there, but I can't. I go to the airport. I never see it listed.
It's always been my dream.
I look, I got points. I got JetBlue points. I can't get to fucking Antarctica.
I mean,
Take a boat.
not a huge fan of the weather, but that would be pretty cool to see. I saw Antarctica, and it was.
How many
all
people
snow.
do you think want to go to Antarctica though?
Weirdos, dude. Weirdos like me. Scientists and weirdos.
We don't know shit about Antarctica.
Nothing.
It's so
nothing.
ridiculous. That could be beyond the ice wall of the flat Earth.
It is. It's north of the wall.
I know Tim believes in flat Earth.
Oh yeah.
Tim believes in fat earthers. They're
A lot of fat earthers out there.
they're everywhere.
Go to Disneyland.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
You know what Disney rash is?
What's that? Chafing between the legs?
No, it's when you walk around Disney for hours on end after not, usually walking in your daily life. Blood pools up and you get these rashes on your ankles.
That's gross.
And people are like putting cream on it because they think it's like a rash, but it's blood, and they call it Disney rash.
Are you sure it's not just diabetes?
It could be trying to escape. Even diabetes has had enough of that shit. I've gone to Disney many years ago. I would never waste my time going again, but the amount of useless food and walking and waiting for an hour and 20 minutes to go on some shit ride.
Well, it's not for you, is it?
You're damn right it's not for me, but that's why we brought 5 kids with us.
Right.
I tell you, having the kids there didn't make it better. It's like fucking, that sucks.
I went there with my parents. They didn't think they put no shade anywhere. It's just there's less shade in general. Yeah. So it's like
They sell more.
no, I see my
beverages.
parents. My father, I remember just in there pushing the carriage around. You know what I mean? And just sweltering hot. There's just nowhere to duck out, and you pay so much money to get in. You know what I mean? You figure you'd be paying for some shelter too, or some shade. Put in some shade, but
Meanwhile, we're all laughing at that tourist with the fucking umbrella hat on.
Right.
Smartest dude there.
smartest.
Where does that bring us? Flat Earth.
Back to the pyramids, man. I want it to be true. I want there to be something there. I feel like whenever it comes to with pyramid discoveries, they got so locked up over there for whatever reason. Like the extra chambers that they found within the giant pyramids not that long ago. It's like obviously they knew about that for
You're
a
talking
while.
about the one that was under the Sphinx.
Yeah,
Left
they're
paw.
always claiming to find some new chamber inside. I mean, come
They
on.
said that
like,
goes down 5 stories.
Yeah.
That's
I
5
think-
stories is 5 stories.
Obviously, the available technology is decades beyond what the public is allowed to know about, right? You and I don't learn the newest type of military technology the day they discover it. We'll hear about it decades later.
Right.
So obviously they were using this type of radar decades ago, and I don't know. I feel like they got in there. They found the chambers, got in there, removed whatever needed to be removed that would have forced them into rewriting human history.
Fact. I think pyramids are probably just like giant force fields to keep the enslaved in line,
That's 5G.
Yeah, it's fucking ancient 5G,
Ancient 5G. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you try to fuck about outside the fucking 5G zone, some strange little alien man with a golden chariot flying through the sky will come blast you and make you dust.
Again, another coincidence that so many ancient civilizations spread out all over the world, all built pyramids of some kind.
Also aliens of some kind.
Yeah, or hybrid human animal creatures. Is that just a coincidence that every single ancient, even your people, the Mayans and the Incas and the Aztecs, they all believed in this these snake like gods, reptilian like gods, and the Chinese had dragons, and Christianity has lizard demons from below. There's so many coincidences.
Yeah.
Is it just a
More than
coincidence?
100.
More than 100, he says. Yeah, no, that's for sure the truth.
At the very least, it is not what we've been told it is.
For sure.
And that should,
humans lifting those blocks.
I mean,
With their dicks.
What kind of cranes did they have back then?
could we even build that now?
Yeah, well, I think the problem is the transportation of some of them being hundreds of miles away. But yes, people have proven that there are ways to move those blocks. But
Well, kind of.
And there are ways to split and cut them, but I mean, these are all
I
right.
hate-
So since you
right.
say that, these are fucking laser precise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody says so. Recently, it was pretty recently, they found a whole bunch of these crazy ass old pots. I don't know what they were made out of, but they were all geometrically like
Right.
absolutely flawless,
perfectly
perfect,
circular.
Crop
beyond
circles.
Yeah.
beyond
Yeah.
what we could do. Well, I've seen people do crop circles.
What
so-
that drunken farmer
Well,
with
that's
a
a-
piece of wood
That's a
stepping
whole.
on
That's
it.
a whole other.
but these pots are they measured them with lasers, and the lasers weren't even apparently as precise as what these fucking pots are.
Yeah. So what were the tools used? Like even just the blocks of the pyramid, even though it's sandstone, it's relatively soft stone. They claim that at that time they only had copper tools, and you know how soft copper is. So you could chisel out one of those blocks, but you're going to go through 1,000 chisels on one fucking
There's
block.
no way it was copper.
And then that still doesn't explain how they carved the marble obelisks. Now that shit's like laser. You can't cut marble with copper.
Nothing to see here.
Well, I think the real question is, I feel like most people would agree that obviously we don't know what the pyramids were for and how they were built. In fact, I think they're starting to accept that the oldest pyramids are the ones that are in the best shape. The giant pyramids were ancient to what we call the ancient Egyptians. It already existed. So you see some of the shittier pyramids, like the step pyramids that are all crumbling and fall. Those are newer because they were trying to recreate what they had found in the giant Giza pyramids, and they couldn't do it. I mean, it's still impressive, but they couldn't do it. But so the real question is, it's pretty fucking obvious that we can't explain. There's some lost technology or something that we can't explain. That I feel like most people agree. We cannot explain the pyramids. The real question is,
I don't think most people agree. I think
the comment section is going to start flying now that you say shit like that.
I think there's plenty of people.
We know.
I think
right?
plenty of people
How
think they
arrogant
know.
how fucking arrogant do you have to be? Yeah, dude, I know how they built the pyramids.
No, because they
do
read
you?
that at school.
Oh, I learned it at school.
Yeah, no, they don't lie to you at school. Don't be fucked.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that reminds me of that graph, the graph of the Earth that they teach you at school. It's like, it shows the crust and the mantle and the core. That's it.
That's it.
Just solid. It's just full of solid rock with a liquid magma core. But we've never been able to dig. I think the deepest we've ever dug as a civilization is like it's like 8 miles or 15 miles, something like that. Somewhere in Russia, they had a drill that went down like 15 miles but that's barely touching the crust, the top layer. So everything inside of the earth that we've been taught as fact is a fucking theory. It's a best guess.
It's bullshit. If they have the technology to make that Earth with the milky center, the creamy center, then they certainly have the technology to see what's a couple 100 meters underneath the pyramid.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And I believe it all.
You lose some friends over saying what you think you know or what you think you think.
I don't think my point is we don't really fucking know anything.
No, we don't.
Well,
Some people actually do. Some people know, and they try to tell us, and we call them fucking kooks. I was telling Ben last week, when in the 90s, I was working with this dude painting, and you know how wild shit goes on during the day when you're doing like construction or painting, and you day in and day out talk about the dumbest shit over and over. But this dude, my guy Phil, he was telling me about the New World Order back in the late 90s, and I'm fucking telling you, he mapped it all out, every bit of it. And I'm just like, dude, will you shut the fuck up? And he's like, no, I'm telling you right now, they're coming for us. And he's like, RFID's coming, and it'll be here. And like, he went through the list of every fucking thing.
Yeah.
You own nothing and you like it. I mean, this is like 25 years ago or some shit. He said it all. And over the 25 years, with my hindsight, I'm like, oh yeah, Phil said that.
Yeah.
Phil said that.
You know where he was getting it?
Oh, Phil, Alex Jones and all kinds of
David
other motherfuckers.
Icke.
He could have been for sure, yeah. And dude, but all of it over time has absolutely come. It's all coming.
So how many fucking conspiracy theories need to come true before people stop just scoffing
100.
I think we're almost there.
No, well, here's the deal.
Yeah, but we keep on making people. So the more people that come out that are younger, they're not privy to certain things, and you can keep on fooling people over and over.
Yeah, whoever wins the war writes the history, and that's kind of what goes on.
Well,
yeah, for real. But there's no getting ahead of it unless you want to spend all your money and buy X. I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't know. What would it change anyways if we knew all these things? We still got to go to work, right?
Well, apparently your government thinks you're too scared to know any better, which is interesting.
I don't think that's what it is anymore. I think they're hiding something else. There's something, and you know what? I've always considered the fact that the people at the top that have this information, maybe they're deciding to keep it secret for good reason.
That's the basis of every movie ever about some life-changing, world-changing problem brought on by fucking aliens.
Yeah.
Oh God, aliens.
We're the aliens, bro.
We are the aliens.
Right.
Yeah.
We are. So does that mean if your friend that you were painting with told you all of this stuff 25 years ago, everything then is cyclical? You would think, right?
Everything is cyclical.
No, everything is cyclical, but are we living in this sort of constant, why don't we get any smarter?
Oh, well, a big part of that is the number is, if you're reading powerful self-help books, that the number is 98% of people are straight up fucking idiots.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, right?
Are you talking American statistics?
No, I'm not talking about America. I'm
'Cause
talking humans. It does.
it
Dude,
seems
when
like-
you're in the jungle, there's a leader of a little pygmy tribe. There's a leader and a couple of his little sergeants or whatnot. And then there's some good women. And the rest are like clowns. Go get the fucking berries and the nuts.
Yeah.
It's that way in America, every town, every place in the world, every country.
We're getting dumber. I think by design. But
By design.
But this is that's a American statistic. I feel like Chinese, Japanese, I feel like they're getting smarter. We're getting dumber because we're like infants in a cradle, and the technology is our new, shiny toy to look at. So I think AI is already running everything. Every major leading world power is getting all of it's consulting AI.
Of course, AI is making ads. AI is creating content. AI is bullshitting you.
Yeah, that's for us.
You go on like an Indeed, and all of a sudden there's like 300,000 jobs. You could go apply for 100,000 of them, and there's no return. Like this is the kind of shit that's going on. It's all weirdness.
Yeah, we're already there.
Yeah,
we're already there.
Right. So there could be shit that's happening with the pyramids and have always been, but it's not entertaining enough for anybody to give a shit about. So people can get away with fooling those people because they're not even looking. They're not even looking into anything.
Information overload. Yeah, definitely.
All right.
And I mean, you just look at the news cycle, right? Whatever most people are talking about is the subject for a week or two. We're not even talking about what we were talking about last week.
No, but that's human nature, man.
We have fucking Twitter brain. Your attention span is.
To me, if you're listening to the radio, if you're doing that kind of shit and your life isn't handled, I think it's just crazy.
Yeah,
so I mean, that's how I feel. But it's fun. It's fun to know that we never went to outer space or landed on the moon. I mean, it's fun to know it.
Nice segue.
Right. We were just talking about the moon. Like last week we were talking about something like that.
Yeah, we should talk about the moon, but the moon landings, fake. I think we made it up there. But I think we filmed the footage was fake so that we could claim that we beat Russia because Russia was going to beat us.
Why do you think we made it there and went through the bullshit of
putting a flag in the ground?
Of hiring Stanley Kubrick in a fucking Hollywood basement to recreate it.
Because we had footage of us planting an American flag on the moon, which means America owns the moon.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
It's also made of fucking cheese, bro.
Well, who do you piss off by saying that the footage was fake? Who gets pissed off
The
when
people who claim to have gone there, that would probably be, I mean, Buzz Aldrin's punched people for it.
Yes, and there's also some weird and I understand misedited and misrepresented clips of him saying things that are questionable too.
Yes. Yeah, there was a whole, they had a separate channel, right? Like an emergency channel that wasn't broadcast, allegedly. And they, they talk about seeing ancient ruins and structures and potential craft watching them as they were walking around one of the craters. Yeah, there's a whole, who knows, man.
And by the way, all of those tapes got destroyed. You know, the most valuable fucking
somehow
videos ever recorded in the history of humanity.
Did
Gone. Oh yes. Gone.
The original reels?
They're gone. They're gone, bro. So all we have left, and dude, it's laughable, and it doesn't help NASA that there's some recreation ones that are put out that were like played on the news and shit. It's very much a recreation, and it's fucking terribly bad and laughable. That doesn't help the cause because, like we just said, most people are fucking, they don't care to know.
You know what? You just made me realize that maybe I always thought or believed that eventually we did make it up. We filmed the landing so that we could claim that we made it there first. It was a race to get to the moon. The question is, why? When it comes to exploring new territory, it's usually to conquer or militarize, right? So we were trying to beat the Russians and the Chinese up there to claim the moon so we could turn it into a military base, right? So that either happened or we never went, because it seems kind of fucking crazy to me that if we had the technology to make it to the moon in 1969, went what, 2 more times, and we're like,
we don't got to go there
good
no more.
enough. That's that.
Moon sucks.
We've seen it. Yeah,
nothing there.
Moon blows, dude. Fuck
Well,
that.
that's actually plausible, and I can't say that that's not a ridiculous thought that they went there a couple times and said enough. I have a harder time believing that they got there, that the little Coke can covered in fucking rock wool and on the inside and another piece of Coke can got them through radiation belts and fucking atmospheres and landed with what looks to be like a Home Depot fucking rover. There's a cameraman. Fucking don't tell me that they're remotely operating it in real time from cut the shit with that. Or you have the internet and you're lying about that. One or the other, some wild shit. And then the tapes are missing. These guys come back. Sometimes they blow up. Like, I don't know.
But it was to get people pumped, though.
Yeah, it was definitely to get us pumped up, and it was bragging rights and potentially ownership of the moon. But I think the whole fucking thing was a complete distraction. I think NASA was a distraction to keep us all focused on combustion fuel rocket ships, right? This is the only way to get into the atmosphere. You got to use rockets. In the meantime, they had this entire separate secret space program where they're using technologies that,
and who put that together, Ben?
well, not von Braun,
No,
Nikola Tesla.
I don't know. The Nazis we took from Germany.
Yeah, obviously the Nazis. Well, okay, so yeah, you had the Nazis, Werner von Braun, and the guys that were working on NASA, which was, for help build the atomic bomb and rockets and jet engines and all that stuff. And Jesus Christ, who knows what else we got from the fucking Nazis. But then there was a whole separate dark fleet working on the Nikola Tesla type technology, anti-gravity, teleportation, all of this crazy shit.
And who found all the trunks when Tesla died?
Donald Trump's uncle.
Yeah, boy, that's the truth.
Right.
Big Don Trump, Big DT.
His uncle, the very smart man.
Yeah, he owned an energy company. Right. And why was he given access? I mean, he wasn't CIA, but he was obviously.
I think he was an MIT professor or some shit. But let's look into that one.
Yeah,
that's some weird shit.
That is another.
But if you look into any of it, all these fools are connected.
They're all connected. It's true, but it seems like there's factions, right? Just because you have so people that are in that 1% of the 1% doesn't mean they're all in agreement, you know.
Right.
Truth. But when they get together, nobody's arguing about fucking
Skin
race
color,
and
yeah.
dumb shit. I'll tell you that. It's not happening.
Imagine if it evolved to like people start getting so passionate about like moon landing and the pyramids, like they do with like Palestine and Gaza, where
That's what splits the earth.
Yeah, they start putting moons in their profile instead of the Ukrainian
I
flags.
stand with the moon landing.
Fuck, dude, that would finally get me to
Go out and protest.
I'd probably post a moon emoji. I'd be a moon guy.
I don't know. My son is literally a fucking rocket scientist.
Yeah, dude, get him in here.
And we spent an hour watching that fucking little mouse on the rocket engine. Have you ever seen that video? It's a mouse running around on the back of a rocket engine, supposedly in outer space. I believe it was ISS. Well, anybody can look it up. Just type in mouse on rocket engine. And it looks, there's two of them. One of them kind of looks, my son's like, that's debris.
Yeah.
It's and you know what? I mean, he's a very smart kid. I'm not, he has an answer for everything, but there was another one. I'm like, that looks like a fucking mouse.
Wait, was it moving around in a weird way?
Yeah, very mousy way. If you ever seen a mouse, this fucking particular piece of debris looked a lot like a mouse, moved a lot like a mouse. I said to him, if that shit looks like a chicken and clucks, dude, what are we going to call it?
We should get him in here and just fucking scoff at us the entire time.
He would be very passionate in shutting us down.
Yeah, but he's willing to talk.
For sure, he loves it. It's
I-
part of their job where he works. Like they have these debates and like they use these. This is like information gathering, I guess. I don't know.
I would love to talk. There are some things I would really love to talk to him about, because some stuff, just the coincidence stacked on. How many fucking coincidences do you need?
Well, just so you know, fucking Katy Perry's an astronaut.
What was the point of that?
Distraction.
Well, it fucking worked. What distracting us from what? Everything?
The Diddy list, the fucking Epstein list.
There's a lot
now
going
all
on.
of a sudden, Katy Perry and a bunch of these fucking knuckle dicks are in outer space.
Dude, that was like a month ago, though.
I understand,
already
but it's
forgot
still
about it.
like, what a fucking stunt, dude.
What a
Everybody
stunt.
saw your stupid stunt. No one, and again, that 98% rule, dude. A lot of people believe that shit. They're like, what are you talking about? Of course they're in outer space.
I mean, did you see how flimsy the door
I was just gonna say
on that
that
shit?
fucking.
You see how thick a door is on a commercial airliner?
I do
And
often because I sit near them and they tell me, sir, do you know what's going to happen with this door if we haven't? I'm like, fuck yeah, it's a big crazy door. But apparently the fucking Home Depot door saving Katy Perry and her fucking goofy friends from flopping out into the ocean or whatever the fuck I'm supposed to believe.
I would have appreciated her on like one of those slingshot
Pass
out
out
video.
Yeah.
Just go up and just
Is there any footage of of their faces on takeoff so you can see them making ugly
There
fucking
is, I
faces?
believe there is.
Is there?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe really
there's no ugly face.
Well, then I don't believe it.
She
There's
looked
no-
like
how
she was
many-
getting a massage
Yeah, fuck
with
that,
fucking
dude.
hot rocks.
How many G's is that?
Jesus Christ. Bro, I don't know what to tell you. It's fucking bullshit.
I mean, I don't think you sit there looking pretty at 5G
No, you look
launch.
you're like Chevy Chase and fucking Dan Aykroyd and spies like us. And they come out.
I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
I would assume so, but then again,
But not them. I mean,
not
Botox is
that.
the
That's true.
motherfucker.
Botox is a motherfucker.
But anyways, yeah, no, they're astronauts. So I guess I'm a gynecologist.
Yeah.
What are you?
You can identify as whatever you want to be.
All right. Well, that was pretty fun. That was a fun one. I can't wait for the comment section to fucking say the dumbest shit about us. Listen, we're fucking idiots. We're not pretending we're not fucking idiots. If you fall for it and want to engage and be the opposite side, good luck. We're going to fucking send the bots after you. All right, cool. Bye, fellas.
Later.